Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving straight into Chapter 3, Issue of Shares, with a laser focus on what you need to know for your exams. If you've been trying to get your head around how companies raise money and all the rules involved, you are in the right place. Let's get right to it.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, what share capital even is. Then we'll look at the different ways a company can issue shares, dig into public offers, check out what happens for existing stakeholders, walk through the official allotment process, and finally, wrap up with share certificates and the dreaded forfeiture. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, first things first. Before a company can issue a single share, we, and more importantly you for your exam, need to understand how their capital is structured. This is the absolute foundation for everything else we're going to talk about today. So what exactly is share capital? In the simplest terms, it's the money a company gets by selling off little pieces of itself, which we call shares. And these shares usually come in two main flavors: equity and preference shares. This is the total fund that the owners have put into the company.
Now, I want you to think of this whole process like a funnel. At the very top, the widest part, you have authorized capital. That's the absolute maximum amount of money a company is legally allowed to raise. From that big pot, they decide to offer a chunk to the public. That's the issued capital. Then, what the public actually agrees to buy is the subscribed capital. The company then asks for the money or calls it up, which is called up capital. And finally, the money that actually hits the company's bank account, that's the paid up capital. This flow from authorized all the way down to paid up is a super important concept for your exams.
All right, so we know what share capital is, but how does a company actually get that money in the door? Well, there are four main ways they can issue shares to raise those funds. And here they are, the four key methods: making a public offer to everyone, giving a special offer to the people who are already shareholders, creating schemes for existing employees, and doing what's called a private placement. We're going to break down each of these.
Let's start with how companies reach out to brand new investors. This usually happens in one of two main ways, either by going wide with a public offer or by being very selective with a private placement.
Okay, this is a classic exam question. What is the difference between an IPO and an FPO? An IPO, or initial public offer, is a company's big debut on the stock market. It's the very first time they sell shares to the public. An FPO, or further public offer, is for companies that are already listed but decide they want to sell more shares. So just remember, initial means first, further means they're coming back for more.
So how do they actually price these shares? Well, in a fixed price issue, it's simple. The company just says, here's the price, and that's that. The catch is they don't know if anyone wants to buy until the offer is closed. The book building method is way more dynamic, kind of like an auction. The company gives a price range and investors place bids. The final price gets set based on the demand, and the company can see how popular the offer is every single day.
And the other way to bring in new money is through private placement. You can think of this as the VIP route. It's an exclusive offer made to a select group of people. And for your exam, you absolutely need to remember this number. That group can't be bigger than 200 people. It's a way to raise cash quickly without all the paperwork of a big public offer. All right, so companies don't just look for new investors. They also have special ways to offer shares to people who are already part of the family, their current shareholders and their hardworking employees.
Now this is a huge one for exams: rights issue versus bonus issue. With a rights issue, existing shareholders get the right to buy more shares, usually at a great discount. The whole point is to raise fresh money for the company. A bonus issue, on the other hand, is a gift. It's completely free. The company uses its saved-up profits to give extra shares to its loyal shareholders. So the easiest way to remember this: rights you have to pay for, a bonus is, well, a bonus.
Companies also have three main ways to get shares into the hands of their employees. First is ESOS. This gives an employee the option to buy shares down the road, but at a price that's locked in today. Then there's ESPS, which is more direct. Employees can buy shares right now at a discount, often straight from their paycheck. And finally, you have sweat equity. This isn't about buying shares, it's about earning them for a valuable contribution, like a game-changing idea or a patent.
Okay, so the company has made its offers, and people have sent in their applications. So what happens next? Well, now the company has to actually distribute or allot the shares. And believe me, this isn't random. There's a very strict formal procedure they have to follow.
Think of this as the legal checklist a company has to tick off. First, their main document, the prospectus, has to be officially registered. Then they have to collect a minimum amount of application money. SEBI says 25%. Then they have to hit that crucial minimum subscription number, which we'll talk about in a sec. And, of course, they have to get the green light from a stock exchange. These aren't suggestions, they're the law.
All right, if there is one number you memorize from this section, make it this one, 90%. This is the minimum subscription required by SEBI. It means if a company can't convince the public to buy at least 90% of the shares they're offering, the whole deal is off. The issue fails and every single applicant gets their money back. It's a huge deal.
We are on the home stretch now. Once the shares are finally allotted, the new shareholders need some proof of ownership. And we also need to talk about what happens if someone agrees to buy shares but then doesn't pay up.
So what is a share certificate? Honestly, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the official legal piece of paper that proves you own a certain number of shares in a company. Think of it like the deed to a house. It is the ultimate proof that you are a part owner of that business.
But what happens if the company makes a call for more money, asks for the next installment, and a shareholder just doesn't pay? That's when we get to forfeiture. The company has the right to literally take back those shares. It's the ultimate penalty for failing to pay what you owe.
Okay, to finish up, let's put it all together with a quick exam-style question. Imagine a brand new company, just started. It needs to raise capital. First question, should it offer an IPO or an FPO? And second question, can it offer bonus shares to get its first round of funding? Now think back to what we just discussed, especially for that second part. Can a brand new company really give away a bonus from profits it hasn't even made yet? Something to think about. That's a great way to check your understanding. All the best with your revision.